Hello everyone. Welcome to the solution of LeetCode problem 341 named Flatten Nested List Iterator. Here we are given a nested list. Suppose in the nested list, the element can be an integer or can be another list, or there can be several lists which is nested. Now we have to flatten the nested list. Suppose here we have to add 1, 1, 2, and 1, 1 after that. So here the nested list is flattened. Now here, if we consider this example, which is 1, 4, and 6, here the first element of this list is 1. The second element is another list, which is 4 and 6. Now, the first element of this list is 4, and second element of this list is another element, which is another list, which is 6. So here, if we flatten the list, it will become 1, 4, and 6. Now, we have to implement the several classes. So at first, we have to implement the nested iterator class, which initializes the iterator with the nested list. Now, we have to implement the next method, which returns the next integer in the nested list. And here, we have to also implement hash next method. Here, the hash next return true if there are still some integers in the nested list. Otherwise, we have to return false. Now, I hope you understood the problem statement. Now, let's move on to the algorithm. Now, to understand the algorithm, we have taken this nested list. Here, we have one element here, 1. The second element is another list. The third element is 2. The fourth element is another list. And the fifth and the sixth element are the integers. So here, if we perform the flatten operation, this list will become 1, 2, 3, and 4. But this is the respective desired output. But how can we do it? We can simply do a recursive solution. Here, the solution is pretty simple and straightforward, and it is a little bit of easy. So we have to iterate each of the element from left to right of the given input. So here, the first element is 1. So we have to check whether this element is integer or not. So here, this element 1 is integer. So we have to add 1 into the resultant array. Now, for the second element, it is this. So for this second element, we have to check what is the condition of the first element of this second element. So we have to check whether it is a integer or not. So if it is an integer, which is 2, so we have to add 2 here. So far, so good. Now, we have to check what is the conditions of the next element. So here, the condition of the next element, it is a list, which is 3 and 4. So far, so good. So here, we have to recursively call the backtracking function into this list. So here we have to check the first element of this list, which is 3, which is an integer. So we have to add 3 here. Similarly, we have to check the next element, which is 4. So we have to add 4 here. Now, we have completed the iteration and we have found the flattened version of the given nested array. I hope you understood the algorithm. Now let's move on to the code. In this problem, the code is pretty simple. We have to implement the nested iterator class. So here, we are using a solve method. So here in this recursive solve method, the parameter is the nested list, and we have to iterate each of the element of the nested list. And if the current element is integer, That means we have to push this corresponding integer into the resultant answer vector. Otherwise, if it is not integer, that means it is definitely a list. So here we have to recursively call those nested list with the solve function. And for the next method, we have to simply return the ith element of the answer and upgrade the I pointer. And for the hash nest, we have to check whether the value of I is less than answer or not. If it is, we have to return true. Otherwise, we have to return false. Thank you everyone for watching this video. We will get back soon with another LeetCode solution.